Okay, this is a quick tutorial on how to locate journal articles. Um, the high school library has some real specific databases that you can use. For this tutorial, I'm just going to show you one called Power Search. So let me show you where the steps that you need to find the database, Power Search. The best place to go is to the district home site, eastonsd.org, as you can see here. And I think the easiest route to go once you get to the district site is to click on schools and then go to the high school. You can always go to eahs.eastonsd.org too to bypass that, but just the same, if you go to the high school, you'll come to now the high school's page, and then from here you're going to click on academics, and then you want to go to the library. Okay, so here is the database page that has all the different databases for different classes and different needs. The one that we are going to go to is under General Research, and it's called Power Library. Okay, so if you click on Power Library, you'll find that there's a whole bunch of different resources here. So for this tutorial today, we are going to go down to the Power Search database. And again, this is for journal articles. And journal articles are just merely the most recent published research in any field. It tends to be academic, college level stuff, but sometimes things can be published in regular magazines too. But again, it's just your most up-to-date research in any field. Okay, so we want to go to Power Search. Okay, so what you're going to see is when you're at home, you're going to get this interface. This won't be an issue at school, but when you're at home and you're using this particular database, you need to get an instant ecard. And it's just right here. If you click on that, you register, and then they'll instantly give you a number that you can plug in. So I have my number here, and I know my public library card number. Yes, I am that nerdy. But if you are a public library member, you don't need to get an instant card. But if you are not a public, member of the library, you just go to that Get an e-card now, and they'll send you a number, and then you just log in that way. Okay. So we're going to get into the database, and I just want to show you a couple things just to get you through. I know everybody knows how to do searching, but it works a little bit differently than a Google search. You can't just put in, a long phrase, okay? And in fact, I would recommend if you would go to the advanced search, it'll just make it easier. So if you click on advanced search, you'll get into a little bit different, a little bit more powerful search. And the best way to attack a database like this when you're doing your search is to break your terms up into, on these lines. So you can't just put in, how does, dress codes affect teenagers, or, are schools sexist in their dress codes, if that's my topic that I'm researching. So the best way to do that is break it down into its smaller parts. So I'm just going to put in high school on my first line because I'm going to look at high school, and I also want to look at dress codes. So you're breaking your terms into smaller bits here. So I'm going to look at high school, and right here it says and. I also want to look at dress codes, those two things together. The other thing is just make sure that documents are full text. You want to make sure all of that information is checked off down here, that you're going to get full text articles only. Okay, so now I can just do my search, and I just want you to see what you're going to see. So it tells me up top here, right here, I'm getting 63 magazines. So that can be like People magazine, it could be Scientific American, it could be History Today, things like that. Over here are academic journals, and those are your journal articles. Now, your teacher might recommend that you find journals only. Again, those are your most recent research type things. And then you have options. There might be some books on the topic, current events, things like that. I think for the most part, you'll be using magazines and academic journals. Okay, so I don't really want to get too much into looking at each article. I just want to point out a couple things. Let's say you go into this article here, and you have the article right in front of you. If you look down at the bottom, what this database will do is it will give you your citation down at the bottom, okay? And you can actually select right here and copy and paste it into a doc. However, I'm going to tell you that anything that you find, any articles that you find, you can send them over to your Google Drive. So, and you can see up here, you can even log in with your Google account right before you start if you want to. But once you start finding articles, if you click on the Drive button there, it's going to link it to your account. All right, so I'm going to go into mine and I'm going to type in, you know, I don't need to necessarily, yeah, there we go. Look at that, right in there. And you're going to allow it to, you know, go into your account. And then you can see this article was sent to your Google Drive, okay? So that's really nice, and you can start collecting your documents that way. What I want to say is once you send it over to your Drive, this information here, this citation will be there for you, okay? So I just wanted you to be aware of that. If you decide you don't need the article and you just want the citation, then you can go to the select button and copy and paste it if you want. So I just wanted you to be aware that you can save everything to your Google Drive. You do have these buttons up top. You can cite. It'll do the exact same thing down at the bottom. Again, same thing. You can change it to APA, toggle between MLA, APA, depending on what you need to use. Again, you can mail it to yourself. You can, I don't know if you can download it necessarily to your iPad. I think it's just easier to go to your Google Drive, or you can print it, things like that. And you can actually take notes right here. You can highlight and take notes right in the article. Okay, so that's basically how you would use the Power Search to find journal articles. If you have any questions, please contact me. My last name, first initial, it's Sophara D at eastonsd.org. I usually check my email a couple times a day.